Because I'll tell you guys a story about 90 days before I went to my first success school. We got our distributorship in November of 2010. Made about $700 in the first 12 days, excited out of our mind. And I was the most unteachable person you could be around. And bless Steve every day for sticking with me. Because here's how the conversations went. Put him on a three-way call. My phone don't have that function, right? Do a mixer. Nuh-uh. I don't let nobody in my house. No. Crazy. You should come to success school. You crossed the line, buddy. I ain't doing that. No way. Introduce me. Why? So you can steal my people? That's what I was thinking. You guys laugh, but it's true. That's a lone wolf mentality. That's a lone wolf. You see the wolves on here? They're all wolves. They're all dangerous. They can all get it done, but what are they doing? They're following the path that's laid down. Why? They know it's going to get where they want to go. There's less guesswork. It's proven that the groundwork is laid. And how does that translate into Advocare? There's something called the success system. You heard all about it. There's the pack. You're stronger as a pack. That's where the success is. It's where the pride and ego from over here drop, and they just become a humble heart. As my friend Micah taught me. Humble your heart. A lot of times pride and ego keep you over here as a lone wolf. So are you teachable? Good thing I got notes. Came to success school. Met this guy. You guys listen to this. This guy was big. Salt and pepper hair. Spoke with a lot of confidence. Was everything I thought, man, I want to be like that. And here's what he told me. I didn't know who he was, but he knew who I was. He cheated. He said, Paul, if I were you, here's your training. This is Joe Hadachek I'm talking to right here. Had no idea. Here's the $1 million training that changed our business, financially changed our future forever. He told me, Paul, if I were you, I'd go home and I'd treat people like a traffic light. And I thought, I'm not a smart cop, and I get that. So I learned real quick what that meant. He told me red lights never make you quit this business. Red lights are just people that just want products. Maybe they don't want anything at all. They're a red light. Leave them alone. Love them where they're at. Don't leave them. Love them where they're at. Keep the relationship. Well, that's easy. Green lights. Green lights are easy. Run with them. Help them. Introduce them to whoever's your coach, whoever's helping you. Be the connector. But the yellow lights, you guys all know what I'm talking about with yellow lights. Yellow lights drive you crazy. Should I stop? Should I go? Should I speed up? Should I slow down? What if there's a cop? What if there's not a cop? Right? We've all been there. And in Advocare, yellow lights are, well, maybe. Yeah, I'll think about that. I'll get back to you. And they don't call back. Your job is to figure out if they're green or they're red. Guys, I'm telling you, I heard that training right there in the first 15 minutes that I was at Success School, even though I didn't want to go in February of 2011. And you don't think that training was important? In the next 18 months, maybe about 19 months, we built it to the diamond level. It's not about diamond level. It's about what did I do the first 90 days and what happened after. And after that, guess what? I became teachable. Everybody wanted to talk to Steve. Everybody wanted to come to a mixer. Everybody wanted a membership. Craziest thing ever. Is it a lone wolf? Or you're running with the pack? And if you're running with the pack, this is where it can be hard. Because you got your mindset right, now you got to get some actions. And I'm not going to go through a lot of actions. I'm not going to talk about the success system. But I'm going to tell you probably the number one thing that was the hardest for me and a lot of other people in our business was those words on that screen. Every one of those wolves will lead a pack at some time. First, they're learning to follow. Doesn't mean they're not a leader. They're leaders in the making. And I had to learn to do that, so that's the first thing. Learn to follow before you can lead. Second thing, remember this. Hunt your leader. It's not your leader's job to call you and see if you're still going. It's your job to be in touch with your leader. They have what you want and what you're trying to get. So when I heard that, guys, here's what I figured out. Steve works for me, right? He gets 2 days off and I get to choose when they are. He's gonna work. So we started working and I started hunting my leader. And to this day, there are days I don't know what I should do in my business. You know what I do? I call him and I say, hey, what are you doing today in Advocare? And I do that. But if you guys can get to that point, you'll get the same results. Number 3, I already touched on follow the path. It's easier, it's less work, it's proven. It's gonna get you where you wanna go. Number 4, wear your colors. Anybody been to the apparel store? Clap, so I know, come on. There's a young lady in here right there that's been to the apparel store. It's my wife. She's gonna wear her colors a lot. Wear your colors. It'll produce conversations. It's not gonna do the business for you. But at the end of the day, why not put them on to add that extra tool to your belt? So now you're standing in line, you're standing somewhere, people strike up that conversation. Hey, so-and-so uses Spark. I used to use Spark. What is that stuff? I saw it on ESPN. You got business coming to you in another way. It's just another tool. It doesn't mean put your clothes on and stand there and wave at people, right? You gotta talk. Clothing helps. Wear your colors. Number 2, use products in front of people. I will tell you, there are mornings I want Spark, but I knew I was going to be going into a courtroom. I knew I was going to be going to a part-time job. I knew I was going to be doing a program or whatever I was going to be doing. Or, here's the key. If you got kids in sports, I knew I was going to a gymnastics meet. And I don't sit by the same people very often because I'm going to use Spark and see if it strikes up that conversation as we talk about who their kid is and who my kid is and oh, that one right there, and never know. Using products in front of people. Mixing up Spark at your home if you're going somewhere, think in advance. But remember guys, none of this stuff comes free. I got 2 last points. This one I'm gonna hurry through. Everybody at the end of today, figure out what it is you want. Figure it out. And then we're gonna spend every moment we can going to get it. But it's not gonna come free. Goals are amazing. Goals are great. What are you willing to lose or exchange or sacrifice to get? That's the key. For me, I had to turn off the news channel. For me, I had to stop the fantasy football thing. Never paid my bills. Never got me home with my kids. There were some sacrifices that I was willing to make. It got to the point I stopped hunting. And those of you guys that know me know I like to hunt. I stopped for 3 years so I could hunt anywhere I wanted now. Would it be worth it? You got to decide that. What's the exchange program? You want to change your health? What's the exchange program? You going to get up in the morning so you can move and exercise? Or are you going to stay late and do it there? You're going to change your food regimen. What are you going to change? It's going to come with an exchange. And so guys, through all this, as I wrap this up, I'm going to be real transparent with about 20,000 people here. And all right. If you do some of the stuff you learned here today, you're going to experience personal growth. And what you see today is not what you would have saw 5 years ago. It's also not what you would have saw 10 years ago. 10 years ago, you would have saw me really proud, love my job, doing what I did. No desire for anything else. My wife and me and my job. And one night I was working February 21st, minding my own business. I call it working, you guys call it hiding. And I got the worst phone call of my life. You see, About 6 months prior to this, my mom called me and asked me to come home for Thanksgiving, and I told her, can't do it. I want to work overtime. This is before kids. My brother called me February 21st. Said, I want you to come home. I want you to watch my last basketball game. I'm a senior in high school. I said, buddy, man, I got work. I got a phone call later that my mom and my brother were killed in a car wreck that night. Probably one of the worst days of my life. But let me take you back to my story right now. Remember I said we made $700? We made $700, and I told my wife we should probably get out of this thing in case it's a scheme. My wife said, what if this is the one thing that gives you time? You see, because when you experience this, the regret that you live with for the rest of your life, for just wanting one more conversation, you find out what you want. You spend every day of your life going to get it. And what you see today has changed so much. And what you're going to see in 5 years is going to change so much. It's all going to change. But you got to welcome that personal growth. And I'm not here to motivate you. I'm not here to give you a sob story, but I'm saying this is real. This happens to people all the time. And now, I spend every day giving those four ladies a life that would be unimaginable without this.